Okay, well, I want to kind of cover a few other things that have been gnawing at my soul. And, the United States has issues. They're huge issues. And the studies that I've done when I cover information about the Illuminati, I'm reading a book from 1798 that covers the foundation of the Illuminati, where they came from, who were the main players, how they set it up, some of the ideologies that they came up, the ceremonies, the workings, the oaths, all of it. Not because I want to be part of that group, because I don't. So I can have an understanding of what these secret organizations are all about. I don't give a rat's ass about the little fucked up little ceremonies that they create to make themselves self important. I could fucking care less. That's just stupid. But nonetheless, a lot of people are enticed by that, and clearly Adam Weishaupt points that out. He went by the name of Spartacus. He said, just introduce a mystery to a man, add the word noble, and, dress it up with the ceremony, and you can lead that man around the world by his fucking nose. That's how pompous and proud they were, the fact that they can do this to people. And people that have been kicked and beat down, and it's appealing to become a part of something that you won't be beat down in, especially when one of the other attributes of their uh, apprenticeship is that once they welcomed one individual in their apprenticeship program, they would, once he graduated from that, they would build in successes to build the guy's confidence up. Of course, he had to take their oath. And part of their oath would be that they would uh, kill you if you didn't go along with the program. I'm sure that's happened numerous times. Not only were they willing to kill their enemies, but they're willing to kill their own people if they don't go along with the program. Uh, so then you have the influx of, and the, God, what do you call it? You have a infusion. That is a good word to use. An infusion of Freemasonic rituals and Freemasonry in the beginning of the American government from the very beginning. Many of the presidents were involved in Freemasonry, and who knows what else they were involved in. And there are a number of videos out there, and clearly their doctrine is worshiping Lucifer, that they believe is God. That's what they believe. And, according to Adam Weishaupt, they're into the most despicable things. I mean, the more debauchery, the better, basically. So they're an amoral group of individuals. Well, um, because of this infusion of these secret societies that have permeated our society and infiltrated, infused themselves in education, in Rotary clubs, in like a quasi Freemasonry. And many of the initial members have really no idea what they're involved in, and primarily, unless you're of the higher degrees, you're not going to be invited into any other groups anyway, because they use that as a screening process. And of course, they're quite proud of their heritage, and many of them are in absolute, complete denial of everything that I've just said, because they themselves don't recognize cause and effect relationships. And for most people, because of the conditioning and this infusion and infiltration into every area of our society, um, it's very difficult to detect if you've been propagandized and conditioned to believe and behave and trained in certain ways to think. You clearly don't get the education that the highest members of the Illuminati get. The uh, secret organizations and Committee of 300 and good God, I mean, the CIA involved in MK Ultra, mind control experiments, Jim Jones, uh, um, uh, what's his name? Mr. Helter Skelter. There's another one. Uh, and clearly, the use of LSD to um, create Manchurian candidates. Oh, people don't want to believe this, but when you do the research, you'll find that many of these top psychologists have ultra top secret clearances. I don't know what they call them, TSSBIs or something. I don't know what they call them. But clearly they're involved and they're getting paid. Look at the ones that got paid to create rendition and Abu Ghraib. Look at the new released video of the treatment of those people. They were fucking slaughtered. They were tortured. I mean, these are these sadistic fuckers. Well, all of that theology has a beginning point, and it looks very innocuous and very harmless. But it still has a presence, see? Whether or not you believe in it or agree with it, these people do, and they act in those mechanisms. They use these mechanisms to create this facade that they're an innocuous, benign presence and that they have really no effect over anything. Well, this country has huge issues. Look at the uh, uh, backward amorality, amoral behavior in every area and walk of life almost. Look at gender identity is no longer men and women, man and husband and wife, male and female. Now they've fucked that up and neutralized that phrase itself, so it no longer has the gender connotations that it once had. It still does for me and other people, but look, guys, you know what? This is the kind of erosion that's taking place in your society. And these things are not healthy. And listen, most of these people that are for that kind of thing are molestation and abuse victims. Yeah. And they want to continue on in that because they don't want to face the trauma that's happened to them. So they want to maintain those perversions. And if you have a Christian background or an ideology that's against homosexuality, when look, what many of the so-called Christian churches are for that now. So you know what? I find these developments extremely disturbing. And when you come up against these things, or even vocalize any objection to any of this, you make yourself somewhat of a target. And really, all of these issues become somewhat of a bullying process. I feel like I'm at the schoolyard and the fucking bullies are out whooping my ass. And really, isn't that what a lot of this is homo dominance? Really. It's fucking sick, okay? I mean, look at that when you see, a dog, a male dog trying to hump another male dog, you don't say they're having sex. You say, what the fuck is wrong with that dog that he's trying to hump that other fucking dog? What the fuck is going on there? Well, same thing with female animals that try that dominance among themselves with the same gender. Some of them even try it with the opposite gender. I mean, this is how perverted our society has become. And a lot of these guys do this shit as a scientific experiment, and they consider themselves patriots for doing this. And their conscience is clean, because I don't know, they must have given themselves over to whatever that dark, evil force is that most of us call Satan or Satanism or the devil. I've had Satanists approach me at different times in my life. So I know those people do that kind of shit. It's fucking sick, bent, and twisted. Rather than dealing with these issues on a mental health level and a spiritual health level and going, listen, you know what? It was not your fault what happened to you. And I want to help you get out of that so you don't have to live that kind of life. And you can have the kind of life that you always wanted in the very beginning that was stolen from you. It was taken from you. I don't hate people that are involved in those things. I hate what they're involved in. But I don't hate them as human beings. But I get a bad rap because I'm against all of those things. You know, and then when they wield the mechanisms of government against you and the police, look at the police. They fucking assassinate people in the middle of the street for no fucking reason and empty magazine upon magazine into somebody. I don't know how. And you know what? Most of the people in this society are scared shitless. People are scared. I understand why you're afraid. And you know, and then if you fight them, then you run the risk of being beat up and homo dominance takes place again, and they throw you in another place called a prison where there's more homo dominance. How fucking sick is that? You know, all I'm saying is let's get together and solve these problems. And then we can empty out those fucking prisons by using healthy strategies and healthy, um, I don't know, like developmental living plans to help people overcome those barriers instead of demonizing them to what happened to them. And their inability to function properly or correctly or religiously. See, I'm not about religion. I'm about God is greater than all of man's wrongs. And I don't know what God is. I don't know. But I have that hope. And I'm willing to take a step in faith to do that and to walk in that kind of faith and try to help. But at the same time, I have to defend myself from physical, emotional, and spiritual injury. I have to do that for myself. And I do the best I can, but you know what? I'm only human and I can't walk on water. If I can, I don't have enough faith to do it. Let's put it that way. Okay? But I know that we can solve these issues together, all of us. We can beat this. Our society doesn't have to be eroded to nothing and to go the way of Rome and Greece and all of these other I mean, look at other nations don't want our values. I don't want these values, and I live in this country, and I probably won't stay here. Or who knows, maybe they'll kill me or something. Who knows? I have no idea what's going to happen. All I know that I've put my life in the hands of the divine creator. The creator, the most high. The one responsible for all there is. You know, I like to think of that character, the Messiah, you know, of the Old Testament. I don't like a lot of what I've read in the Old Testament, but I do like the idea of the Messiah and Jesus, or Yeshua, the Messiah. Even the Muslims would agree that Jesus was a prophet, the Messiah, miraculous birth, all of those things. I would love to believe that, and I'm willing to walk in that and do the best I can. And, you know, so these are the things I wanted to bring out there and put them out there to let you know that, number one, I'm aware of them and they are real. And people can call me a conspiracy theorist or what. I've already had them do that, okay? You know, but when you see that there are concerted efforts against you and they're very meticulously planned, and you can point out how they planned it, they're not that fucking bright, folks. These people are not the geniuses that they set themselves up on that pedestal to be. So, I just want you to know that. With a little bit of honesty and sincerity, we can slam dunk them. Fuck them. So, anyway, I just want to point that out. I'm running out of time here.